Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Mary. Riceford will be late. He's planning on being here.
Commissioner Wilkinson?
Here.
Commissioner Justard?
Here.
Commissioner Prunick?
Here.
Mayor Barry?
Here.
Commissioner Burge is excused.
All right, item B, public comment, 4-minute limit. Anyone? Hearing none, let's move on to C. Consent agenda. Any questions, concerns? Need to pull anything off? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion.
I so move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Justardens, I'll give it to, supported by Commissioner Prunick to approve the consent agenda. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, new business, city manager report. Any questions? Go for it.
I have several. I lost my note. Fell out. Okay. Safe Routes School Grant, we have been awarded that. I would like to see the grant agreement to review it before we accept it.
I think that the attorney should review it.
We haven't gotten any, basically we just got an email saying,
You're awarded the grant.
yeah, and then there'll be a meeting, I think next week, so really I don't know anything
Well,
too much yet.
When we sat through the presentation from the school, we had some concerns about the islands. And we were assured that the preliminary engineering and the preliminary plan was necessary for the grant, but that we could change it. Okay.
Yep.
I would like to change it when we get to it. I see no point to having the islands on Elm Avenue or Maple with the four-way stops with crosswalks. I'm open to being convinced that the island and the highway will actually calm traffic. You'll have to convince me of that, though. And if I remember right, the plan doesn't address the most dangerous part of getting kids to and from the elementary school, which is the angle parking on Elm Avenue.
I think it does,
It
turns
does?
it into
I don't remember
parallel.
seeing that.
Turns
Okay.
it into
But
parallel
we need to
parking.
look at that very closely, and even if it requires eliminating all the parking on that side of the street to make it safer, we can have a conversation about parking. And then I remember challenging you, Michelle, at the time, that if we accept this grant, we have to come up with our share of the engineering costs for this year. Do you know when we're going to be able to look at the grant agreement?
No, I don't.
Okay.
And I was collaborating with the tribe for help to come up with the engineering funds, but they wanted me to know if we were going to get the grant or not before they really did any work towards that.
Question, it was, do you remember the specific grant amount request?
For us?
Because I know that it was around $1 million because the city was on the hook for
I wanna say it was like
$200,000.
1.2.
I have the presentation in my car if you want me to get it.
No, we don't need to, we're not gonna have that
It
conversation.
was just
tonight.
over 1 million.
It's about 1.1.
My question is, are we obligated to spend all of the money if we feel that the scope of the project needs to be reduced significantly?
My understanding is we don't, but it's my first time through this grant, so I don't know what was in the grant
Okay,
agreement.
and I'm specifically curious in whether or not the grant allows us to purchase equipment
No,
to keep the extra blocks of sidewalk that we have open.
I do know that is a no.
Okay. All right, that's all, and then this kind of just concerns me, the last two line items, lead service line replacement project. I know from many years of experience bidding public works projects that spring is the worst time of the year to bid projects because you're gonna get the absolute highest prices. And I don't know what the timeline was on this lead service line replacement project, but we didn't solicit bids until April. And next on to Washington Street, if we go to bid this spring, are we looking at construction this summer or next summer?
Fall.
Fall?
Yeah, so
Okay.
probably will be.
We're still gonna get the highest bids bidding anything out in the springtime.
So back to Washington Street, I think a portion of it would be done in the fall, and then the majority would be done next year.
If we can do that, that would be advantageous. I just know if you bid out construction work in the spring for that summer, you pay the highest possible price for it. And we can't afford to do that. All right, that's all I have, thank you.
I have a question on your water sewer rates. You say ideally we need a decision by the 14th?
And
Okay,
an
we
ideal-
have,
in an
right now, we
ideal
have
world-
one meeting scheduled, so we're gonna have to do that next week if that's the case.
In an ideal world, we don't live in an ideal world, but that's what would make things go smoother. If we can't do that, that's fine, but
Okay.
if we think we can, let's try. If we don't think we can, then we'll figure out what the next best option is.
Because we don't have to have it approved, the budget approved until June.
But we still gotta get it in the budget,
Well, I understand.
Yeah.
so.
But it can't be pushed back to the 17th meeting? Which is
So
3 business
ideally,
days
we'll
later?
have the budget packet, well, this is what's driving the 14th. We hand out the budget binders, which would be on is it the 17th?
Yeah.
The next week, yeah, so the budget binders would have all of the info. In an ideal world, it would have the water rate included in there. We can change it, that's fine, but just, that's something that I wanted to shoot for if we can. So we could get the binders, review what, whatever water rate is in there and decide to change our mind from what's in there. Just involves a little bit of paperwork.
Anybody else?
I apologize if this was done earlier. I also apologize for being a couple minutes late. You guys looked through that consent agenda, so. The Safe Routes to School grant, it says a meeting the week of May 13th.
Yeah, when I wrote this, it wasn't scheduled yet.
Okay, is that going to be one of the meetings where it's an official public meeting?
No,
Or
it's
is that
just like
gonna
an
be a-
internal meeting with MDOT to say, oh, hey, look, we've got this paperwork, here's what the next steps are, and.
Okay.
It's not a public thing.
One of the ways that the ball got dropped in terms of getting us information is that when we had the walkthrough the last time, there was only 2 commissioners that could meet from it, and then because it wasn't a special meeting, there was no notes or anything that got back to us. So, I mean, I know that these 2 did a great job there, I'm not questioning that aspect of it, but it'd be nice to see it, something added to the consent agenda if it was that type of meeting.
Yeah.
So just to have that, written update as well.
And things are now different from what they were when we were doing that walkthrough. We've got a city manager now, and, the communication is going much better than, when, and it was communication gaps, because we just didn't have the city manager as the liaison.
Rather bring it up now and be polite about it, and bring it up later and be upset about it.
All right, anybody else?
So I have something, so people have been asking about commercial boats, or commercial charters from the boat launch. Do you want me to check to see what that would look like a little bit more, or just, is that a?
And you were around when this was before, it sounded like it was a congested.
We had congestion problems because we had very bad traffic flow down there. And we had 2 types of commercial operations, dive charters and fishing charters. And the fishing charters generally got in and out of there relatively quick. The dive charters, not so much. And some of the dive charter operators demonstrated a particular arrogance that was untenable, threatening to sue us if we didn't let them use the boat launch for free. I don't know if that particular operator is still around, but I think that we can accommodate it, but we have to charge an appropriate fee for it, and there has to be specific guidelines on how long they can have a boat at the dock tying up that ramp.
Can I say something?
I'll let you.
Right, well, just on that, because all the congestion on the dock, if they're gonna be chartering and doing all that stuff, the public parking, they need to be told to be parked, in the ball field or whatever, because
Yeah.
all that one car takes up a 40-foot slot for, a boat. and
Even though we
trailer.
do have automobile parking down there now, so
Yeah, but what is that, like 6, 8?
there's quite a few.
Are they trying to come in for this year?
I mean, they would like to, I don't know if the timing will work out,
That's
but-
what, I would say, is that we definitely do some research and look into
Okay.
it, but, table it for this year. But we don't have the time,
It-
it's much of a
now,
crunch.
just based on how your report's written, is the one that's like right off at the beginning that talks about the action that we just discussed, the same as the one that you've got at the bottom of page 2, where it's.
Ooh, I might have accidentally.
It was in there twice.
I think that it's in there.
Oh, no,
twice,
that's different.
but- Okay, all right, so how is it different then, I guess?
One is at the marina, the other is at the boat launch.
Okay.
Anybody else? Are you making a motion to approve it?
I move we approve the city manager's report.
Second.
I'm gonna give it to Bob. The only is Jordan McLeod with the first one.
It's all good.
Moved by Commissioner Starnes, supported by Commissioner Wilkinson to approve the city manager report. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes. Item 2, 4th of July storage garage lease agreement. So it looks like this has gone through the planning commission and it's gone,
You guys have looked at this stuff?
yep, yep. And it's gone through Bill Nardine, and everything seems to be in order.
I have one question. I look at Exhibit A, which is the drawing about where it is going to be located, and it appears to be located halfway out into a city street.
There is an overlap into the street, yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
right here. There's
Oh,
the end
right
of the
there.
street.
Yep,
And that was discussed as part of.
I know
the
that he
CBA.
wanted to be right up to and touching so that they didn't have to put an apron in there.
that's right. 'cause you were-
Yeah, because the ZBA was brought forward to us, and there was discussion about it, but to make sure that there was enough setbacks there with the fence and everything, it had to come out a little bit more forward.
I mean, it doesn't, as long as it doesn't stick out in the middle of that turnaround and block traffic, that's
Was
fine.
it nice?
No,
No,
it is
goes
far
right
enough
to the
back,
edge.
and it
Okay.
gives a little bit of extra space for like a side parking spot too, so that way it doesn't impact the turnaround capabilities. of the-
Looks like it sticks out 10 feet into the street.
But, yeah, ZBA and the planning commission both.
Okay, I just want to point that out. I have no problem with the lease, and I move that we approve the lease, subject to review and approval by the city attorney.
He helped, he already reviewed.
Okay. Then it's already done.
Need support?
I'll start.
All right, moved by Commissioner Justardens, supported by Commissioner Prunick to approve the commercial lease for the 4th of July storage garage agreement. Any more discussion?
Early termination, subletter B. Looking at the definition of fails to provide 4th of July festivities for the community for 3 consecutive years, that doesn't seem to be very specific. And so, well, I mean, okay, all right, so here's the thought process with it. With the Fair Board looking at the agreement between Rock River and Lions Club for the fairgrounds, right? There is a similar termination, but the word any is included, so that means that it's 3 years of complete vacancy. With this, it's subjective, where if somebody wants to go rally against the 4th of July committee, they can use the subjectivity to force you out early. Is that a malicious thing? Absolutely. Is it something that I would prepare better for? Probably. Just so that way it doesn't happen with the people that are in these seats later on. I would suggest fails to provide any 4th of July festivities. So that way, even if you do 1 or 2 small things, it doesn't terminate the lease. It gives you more flexibility.
I'm gonna go on Bill's. I appreciate your comment, but
You're up.
Well, let me tell you. I mean,
Bryce,
I'm just gonna yield back to everybody here. That's my one concern.
I am here. Sean is out of the country.
Okay.
I am solely here to text him to say yes or no. And I apologize. I'm the guy that blows things up in the air on the 4th of July.
All right,
That's
thank you.
what I do.
But we're gonna take the recommendation of Bill Nordine. he did create this, and so I thank you though for the comments. And all parties involved seem to be satisfied with it, so I would call it to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh, all right, motion carried.
All right, send the text.
This was for your guys' protection, not for others.
I apologize. I knew somebody was gonna ask. a
Text him
question.
no and see how fast he gets back.
Yeah. Item three,
I gotcha.
Kelly, you're up.
All right, start with the campground projects on track. Sounds like everything's going very well. I have not heard the date of the walkthrough, but that's coming very shortly to wrap up that.
May
project.
11th, they
Okay.
just said that.
No issues, project on track, on budget. High sodium, just informed by Ron that we did not send that over for his review, so we have to send the write-up to Ron for his review. That is moving ahead. Washington Street, the electrical and controls drawings are not complete, but we're making some progress on it. Had some good revisions come through, just finished talking around about that, should save a little money on the construction side of things. Those are pretty close to complete. That is what's holding up the submission of the water permit though. And then working on agreement with the hotel owner for the property transfer, swap, purchase, whatever it's gonna turn into there, but acquiring the new land we need for the lift station. I just met with the property owner for the culvert easement, just yesterday, laid it all out for him.
Okay.
So, time for the city to turn the easement documents over to.
Property owner on both sides.
Just one
Just
side.
one.
Yeah, I think it's like 30 feet deep on one side, it's only about 6 or 8 feet on the other side. Get that to the attorney, get it off to the property owner, see if the agreement can be made there. I think it was good we did it, homeowner got to see, we kind of need your assistance with this, we can't build this thing without some sort of agreement. As Michelle brought up, bid this summer, the only construction I would like to see happen this fall would be the box culvert. And I'd ideally see that once, tourist season's kind of died down, it's slow as it's gonna get there. I did not get pricing back from the contractor, talked to them several times. They just got kind of busy with construction, so they're still working on that. That's about the only update I have on that project right now, but it is moving ahead, just a little slower this last month than the previous ones. TMF, that is active and turned over. There's a little cleanup on that. Should be able to get your training, I think, next week or so. I have no real updates on the non-motorized asset management plan. We're still sitting in front of the city for the movement. SRF lead service line, so that's the busiest project ongoing right now. If I may, I'd like to address the bid window with that. That's actually mandated through the funding agency when we bid that project. The only thing we chose to do with that is, they break it out into quarters, first quarter, second. They break the third quarter though up into third and 3.5, and then fourth quarter. We moved to the 3.5 so we could beat out all the other SRF projects getting bid out with that exact same window. And they are literally, you will bid it on this date, you will award it on this date. So every project in the UP that's in fourth quarter is gonna bid at that exact same time.
That's just amazing.
It has to deal with state treasury and how they allocate the funds. It causes a lot of issues for everyone involved.
And will be more expensive.
With that being said, we held a pretty good meeting. We had I think a very good turnout on that. I want to say 8 general contractors showed up to that, so potentially 8 bidders on it. Couple of them I'd never even heard of before. We got one from Jacksonville, Florida.
Really?
Wants to do trenchless
lead service lines. What I was happy to see is there's at least 3 contractors that will do directional drilling. So that will help with the project. If nothing else, the cost may not be drastically reduced, but the disturbance to the residents should go down quite a bit, so, and should go a lot quicker. With that being said, we have the bid opening on the 18th. Something I have to present to you tonight, and ideally we can make a decision tonight. The project has to be awarded by this commission by May 26th.
So we need to approve our budget by May 26th.
Well, you need to have a meeting where you can award the project before May 26th. We're gonna open the bids at, I think it's 3 o'clock on your next commission meeting on the 18th.
That's explosive. That's explosive, because you have to determine if we're going to increase the water rate sufficiently to pay for the city's portion of the water side of the project. And we won't do that until we approve our budget, which will be in June. Even though I'm sure we're going to approve something, we don't know what it is.
Well, the choice is,
I mean, can we commit the city to a financial obligation if we don't have our budget approved yet? That's a good question.
I don't see how you can do that.
Kristen, do you know how that works?
Because, I mean, it's a huge financial commitment we're getting ready to make.
I understand your position on it, I guess.
I'm just thinking procedurally how we can do this.
I was bringing up the point that if you do not award this project by this date, you're likely to lose all your funding for the project.
What happened? Why did we end up in this time crunch? I mean, it's just,
No, that's the process. The only thing that doesn't synchronize there is the bid opening date happened to fall at the same day as your meeting that time. It doesn't give us enough time to review the bids 3 hours before you have your commission meeting, so. The alternative being, you would need to hold a special meeting prior to the 26th to award the project.
No.
I don't see that as a problem.
We already have a city budget hearing scheduled for the 21st, right?
Right.
So,
so that, yeah, so I guess it does fall in line. And then we can do something before the 26th.
Is the public hearing on the city budget on the 21st of May?
That's
That's the water.
our second
Oh,
water.
our second water meeting?
Our second water,
It's your
we're gonna
second budget workshop.
second
Oh,
budget
that's-
workshop. We haven't set a second water meeting yet.
Till tomorrow.
No, you canceled the one on the 12th, or
Yes,
are gonna
Right.
change it on the 7th.
postponed it. All right,
I'll also remind everybody that the 25th is Memorial Day, so the
Memorial Day,
26th is a Tuesday.
Long weekend.
So, add another scheduling nightmare to that.
We got this.
So we have to decide on a water budget and a sewer budget before the 26th of May.
yes, well, and hopefully, yeah.
And that's the contentious parts of the budget, so
So tomorrow, we're gonna figure the next water meeting, which I'm wondering if we could do on.
well, let's find out if we need a second one tomorrow night. If there's 3 people who show up and they say, you go, you know.
Don't we have to have 2 meetings anyway?
Say that again?
Don't we have to have 2 meetings anyway,
For
2
the-
public meetings
for
for
the
the
budget.
water?
No.
No, we were just doing those as workshops to educate the public.
Yeah.
We're filming that meeting, right?
We can, yeah.
I think we should film it. I think we should make a real big social media push on that and then try to use that as a way to try to overcome it. I've seen too many municipalities get caught up in a second meeting and things go sideways,
It's a
so.
very good idea. So at least it's out there.
Yeah.
And it's up to that puts it on, on the residents a little bit, a little responsibility. So that frees us up a little bit more.
The people who object to, the people who want to speak publicly for or against the water rate increase
Should be here.
will be here tomorrow night.
Okay, let's get back on track on this.
Hold on, one caveat that I will say before I go here. If you choose to have a special meeting for the public hearing for the budget to approve it, you have to have the budget available a certain number of days
speak, so I would have to double check what the number of days is, to have it available to the public prior to that.
Well, that shortens the timeline even more.
Well, it is what it is.
I understand that, I understand that.
Just before you make a decision on if you want to do a special meeting for budgetary purposes. to
Well,
approve the
I'm
budget.
prepared to make this decision tomorrow night. If we can,
I think we,
For water rates?
yeah, water and sewer rates.
Well, sewer rates aren't,
It's
No.
water.
we're not talking about sewer rates.
No, but we still have to approve. them.
Yeah, I understand, but, yeah.
I think that you're gonna have a lot of pushback from the public if they think that one way is gonna go and there's gonna be more opportunity for public comment, and then all of a sudden we pull the rug out from them to have more time to look at this. I don't think that we're intentionally doing anything wrong, but that's how it's gonna be interpreted. So.
I see the pushback too, yeah.
I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, that including a timeline of all these things, because the water rate is so relevant, having a timeline of when we would have to make those public meeting notices relevant would fall underneath the reasoning for having a special meeting tomorrow. Is it possible?
Historically, you approve the budget at the first meeting in June. With the public hearing and all
Right.
of that comes with having a public hearing and all the publication and all the timeline requirements.
And to clarify where I was coming from, it's, if we are changing things because we've got to have additional changes, I think having that adjusted calendar, for lack of better terminology, would be relevant to also put on social media, to include with the video, to include with public information. Again, we can't, if they don't want to look at it, they don't want to look at it, but like, we have to put it out there. We have to at least show where the water is for them to drink.
I think if we approve, the water and sewer rates are included as part of the fee schedule. And if we approve the fee schedule, which we typically do the night we approve the budget, but I don't think we have to do it at the same time. I think we can approve the fee schedule before we approve the budget. That might get us there, but I don't know.
So we could approve the fee schedule on the 18th.
Yes.
But then we need to have something in place before the 26th.
Yes.
So,
If I may, I would like 3 days from opening the bids to review everything.
okay.
So if it's a contractor we've worked with regularly, it's much easier, but if we get a contractor we have no history with whatsoever, I really would like some time to kind of vet that before we make our recommendation to the board and give you the information you need. If deal with less than that, but that would be my request, 3 if I can get it.
Well, our fee schedule is based upon what we think we need to pay for the project, based upon the preliminary engineering,
Right.
without saying the bids.
Are you including the day of as one of those days?
Yes, we can do that.
The reason why is because it's exactly 3 days later, and we also kind of need a chance to read it too. So like, I mean, if we include that, then, you know, include the 18th, 19th, 20th, that's 3 days. We get the, you know, you send it, we at least get 12 hours to look at it before the next city budget hearing.
Sure.
Just.
We're all a crunch, I mean,
Yeah.
it is,
So,
I can work with that.
Thank you.
Pickle.
All right. So,
Was that?
I'm just gonna make-
Besides
We'll figure out
the-
how to get her done yet.
Okay.
I'm not sure how we're gonna do it yet, but we'll have to figure out how to get her done.
At a minimum, I could come to that meeting at the 18th, you know, the same day we open them, to at least say, hey, if we open bids, I can give you a bid tabulation. I'm sure I can have someone in my office get that. And I'd have to distribute it to you at the meeting, but at least you can see how the bids open that day and kind of see how the project's going.
Why can't we have a meeting, he wants 3 days, why can't we have a meeting on the 21st? And we can approve the budget and everything
We
on the
have a meeting on
26th.
the 21st.
We've got our budget.
That's just.
A budget meeting, okay.
Yeah, so like, we already have that meeting in place, but it kind of just, if you wanted 3 full business days, we'd have to have it on the 22nd.
Well,
I'm just looking at the calendar
22nd,
compared to the
well,
stuff we already have in
22nd is a
place.
Friday before Memorial Weekend.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't care.
But I'm kind of with you, Bob, on if we could, if it gives you enough time, if we could do it all on that Thursday.
Well, just reviewing and approving the fee schedule is not tied to the same schedule that reviewing and approving the budget is. That we don't have to have it available for 10 days. So that lets us compress the timeline.
Sure.
But as you said, if nobody shows up, for instance, there are only 2 or 3 people, we can make that decision tomorrow on water and sewer rates.
Well, I expect there's gonna be a few people here.
Well, it could be, but then if that's the case, then we're gonna have to schedule another meeting, and that should be next week, sometime before Thursday of next week.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotta think about that. All right. Go ahead and continue.
Clint?
I'll skip past the on-hold projects, jump to the wastewater treatment plant upgrades. So the HDR arrived up here and yesterday did the facility assessment for the project. I didn't have any big takeaways from them on that. They're gonna start working on their reporting for that. Seemed to go well, a little more quicker than we'd all planned, but they.
Where's HDR out of?
Well,
Where?
quite a few out.
Nationwide.
Oh,
Yeah.
nationwide.
Most of the staff came from downstate. I think that one guy flying from Omaha. But I think they went through just about every inch of that plant in detail, so
Okay.
learned everything they could. There's no real update on the landslide area at this time. And
There's no dirt in the road.
Yeah,
That's a
that
good
happened.
sign.
I think that's it. If you have questions for me?
That's a lot of them.
I do, just because it was one that was brought up regarding the water situation. With Washington Street being the only other like major project that's going on right now, what would happen if we just stopped that project right now? From a fiscal standpoint and from a functionality standpoint?
You would not get reimbursed for your engineering. That's it.
And we would lose the $2 million grant.
That would also disappear. I mean, an extension is different than killing the project. That would be my first comment to you is if you're unsure at this time or there's issues and just financially it doesn't make sense for you right now, that would be the first step I would take is extend it out. You know, we can write letters to USDA, they can report to the National House, see if this can get pushed back.
The federal government will not be more reasonable in the next couple of years.
They're very adamantly, they call it unobligated funds and unliquidated funds, so they're pretty eager to snatch back unused grant to either reallocate for whatever purpose. So
And
if
just,
you were to ask for an extension, I can't say how successful you'd be on that, but yeah, if you asked for it, they denied it, and you decided we can't do this project right now, it's not a good fit for us, that's what you'd be out, you're not getting reimbursed for that engineering.
are you gonna be here tomorrow night, Kelly?
I hadn't planned on it.
Okay, Ron, and the guy from Rural Water Association is not gonna be here?
No.
So you're gonna get the hard questions, and the hard question, I remember in 2007, when we designed the big project, we took out the 2 most expensive pieces. One was Cox Edition, which we have since done, and the other one was Washington Street. I remember we pulled it out because it was exorbitantly expensive, but I don't remember the technical reasons why we needed to do the water and sewer under Washington Street. Because we've waited almost 20 years and nothing bad has happened. So if you just wait another 20 years, maybe
They're
nothing
lead
bad will happen
jointed
then.
mains, though. They're lead jointed main going down Washington.
Okay, that's what I needed to know.
Kelly, what are the odds of, if, let's say we do push this back, okay, and even if they say, okay, we'll push it back for 2 years, 5 years, whatever, any length of time. down the road, could there be a problem of us getting that $2 million back?
Well,
Potentially, yeah,
Absolutely.
especially if you've applied and you've denied, and
Right.
Those,
Denied it.
you guys got congressionally designated funds for that, that's not very common. It does happen, but, I mean, I've tried many times to get them over the years, I've not been very successful. So, I would also say they have a 5-year window from when they obligate the funds to you to when they expect you to use them. And you can get extensions on that, but the project has to be moving.
Where is we on that window right now?
That's a great question. I want to say you were obligated in '23.
So
We got a
3
letter,
years.
So we got,
December 24th, 2024.
That was your letter of conditions from USDA?
so that's to be used before 2029.
Yeah.
So that starts the 5-year window.
Right.
But that $2 million grant, we're pushing the time limit on that already.
Well, isn't that the 5-year window you're talking about?
I would have to, I'll be honest, I'm not sure the time constraints on that CDS.
The
I
$2
haven't
million
looked at it,
is from the USDA,
No.
but through USDA, through their
but
CM
it was
program.
congressionally mandated funding.
Yep, and they gave it to USDA, said
To
here, administer the funds.
Okay.
The other two, the water and sewer, that's your loan projects, that's 100% through rural development. That absolutely has a 5-year window from the moment they obligated it. And if you're not moving ahead with the project, I mean, I can't say for certain, but I would be extremely surprised if you could write in and say, well, we'd like a 5-year extension on this. We're just not ready.
And I just want to be clear, because this is all going to come up tomorrow night, I'm sure. Thanks, Kelly.
Yep. Anyone else?
thanks, I appreciate it. All right, let's move on to pay some bills. Item 4, Coleman Engineering invoice 59803, Washington Street Community Facilities Project in the amount of $7,252.
I move we approve.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Justardens, supported by Commissioner Wilkinson, to approve invoice 59803 in the amount of $7,252. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, Coleman Engineering invoice 59804, Washington Street Sewer Project in the amount of $3,065.
I move we pay the bill.
Support. Moved by Commissioner Wilkinson, supported by Commissioner Prunick, to approve invoice 59804 in the amount of $3,065. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Coleman, item 6, Coleman Engineering invoice 59805, Washington Street Water Project in the amount of $3,065. Entertain a motion?
I move we approve it.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Justardens, supported by Commissioner Birch, to approve invoice 59805 in the amount of $3,065. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 7, Coleman Engineering invoice 59806, lead service line replacement in the amount of $4,283.50.
3,036.
No, 4283.
4283.
On back.
Oh, I see.
I'll make a motion we pay that bill.
Moved by Commissioner Wilkinson, supported by, Jordan, supported by Commissioner Prunick, to pay invoice, 59806, the amount of $4,283.50. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Okay, it's okay. All right, item 8, land acquisition, Munising Bay Overlook. And basically, this is a budget adjustment that we're looking at.
I'm
Michelle-
confused.
Michelle wanted to pull it out.
Okay.
Go ahead, Michelle.
Basically, we're trying to acquire, I forgot the name, about 300 plus acres of land using a couple grants and then a city match, which is $20,000. Paperwork has just been shuffling, finally got traction, and I think we're going to close on the land acquisition before the end of the fiscal year, so the city needs to contribute $20,000.
Just need to make an amendment for the, go
I
ahead.
have a question. We're amending the budget to add 20,000 transfer from the general fund.
Correct.
What is the $44,317.29 for? That's already in the budget.
That is for remind me.
Well, number 8 and 9 on the agenda, the same thing.
Yeah, there was no documentation that was included in the packet for item A.
I just want to make sure that we're all.
I'm just curious, I mean, I think it's a hell of a deal, even for $64,317.29, for 360 some acres. It's just extraordinary.
It's a fine deal.
The current 44 is for the boat launch, the end of phase 1 and phase 2,
Okay,
engineering.
that's all I need to know.
And we did approve $20,000 at a different meeting for this, so this isn't anything new, we're just making it happen.
Right, we're just,
Okay.
yep, we
I
just-
move we approve budget adjustment as submitted.
Support?
Moved by Commissioner Justardens, supported by Commissioner Wilkinson to approve the budget adjustment as presented for the land acquisition.
So
Is
there's
this
also
item
the
8 or
taser
item 9?
purchase
This
in
is
there,
in
I just want
A.
to make sure you,
Say that again?
it's not just for the land acquisition, there's secondary.
Or for the Munising Bay Overlook project.
Right, but this budget adjustment is for more than that.
Well, that's it, that was what I was thinking was item 9, when I was talking to Michelle, earlier, she
That's
thought
what I was
just,
clarifying.
Yep,
So
she
is
said
item
to-
8 and item 9 separate?
yes, because then we have the rest of the budget adjustments down below here, correct? Why did I?
This has all of them.
I think we're saying the same thing in different ways.
But why, okay, so why did you pull this out separate then?
In my mind, it should be discussed separately, but
Okay.
maybe that was incorrect.
All right.
Well,
Oh, that's
my
okay,
motion
that's
was
okay.
to approve the budget adjustments as submitted.
Oh, so,
And then
I'll-
she said for the land acquisition, so I just want to make sure that you are
oh,
all
So you're doing
encompassing
all-
of
Yeah.
this.
all right, so we are combining 8 and 9.
So can we just double check and discuss the 9 part of it?
I just wanted to
Okay.
clarify that you
Yep.
are approving the
No,
entire
that's
piece of paper in
Yeah,
front
because
of
we
you.
want to go for it.
Okay, all right, so just to run through this, an extra 1,200 for tasers, and then
2,500.
2,500 is, okay. All right, and then the rest of the stuff that goes along,
It's for
below
the
those.
overlook.
Okay, all right, so, okay. I don't have a problem with that now, it's just clear.
Okay.
So,
All right, so motion and support on the table, any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, item F, commissioner comments. Any comments this evening?
I have one.
Go for it.
I had to verify that
Wait,
the,
did we skip E?
Yes,
Do you have any? Oh,
Public comments.
Sorry.
first time I'm getting stuff.
Item E, public comments, anybody 4-minute limit? Okay, now
Can we
we're good.
slide a fire truck into those budget adjustments?
Noted.
Just
All right.
Get up there.
yeah, I am thankful for the, what's the name of the company in Alabama, Red? I forget.
Folks.
I appreciated the financial information we were provided on the cost of a fire truck and the payment schedule. And I had Sue verify that the end date, the last date that we can put a millage on the November ballot is July 28th. And I would like to know, I would like to see a breakdown of the purchase options for this fire truck, along with the revenue possible with 1 mil and 0.75 mils. And you don't have to do this tonight, personally. But I would say that the school millage passed, which is going to make another millage being passed in the city extremely difficult this year. But I don't know that we can wait, and I don't know that we have another avenue to pay for it.
You know, though, if we don't try, it's gonna be a no.
Well, I am of the opinion that we should put a full mill on the ballot, which would pay for the 10-year repayment schedule on a new fire truck, and also allow us to put a certain amount of money away for replacement of the second fire truck in 10 years, which is the best we can do at this point. Either that or you put a millage on the ballot large enough to support the purchase of 2 fire trucks.
Which is one that.
Yeah.
And that would, I'm sure, would be at least $1.5 million, if not 2 mils. And then we have our fire trucks all the same age again, so we have this problem in 15 years. So I would ask at some point, after we adopt the budget, Michelle, that we have a meeting to discuss the possibility of putting a millage on the ballot to replace our fire trucks. I'm 50-50 on millages, Red.
Yeah, I had just worried that just because of the school pass and, you know, the taxpayers, including myself,
I know.
you know.
Me too.
You're like, what the hell? You know?
Yeah.
So are we in the commissioner comments?
Yep.
Everybody's done?
Yep.
All right, so last night was a very long night of talking people off of edges, some of them literally, with that school millage passing. We have millions of dollars worth of renewals in August at the county level and other municipalities as well, including 911. Obviously, Extension Commission on Aging, Altran. There's a lot of grants, a lot of other funding efforts, including other housing efforts that are gonna be impacted by that. And the school getting on the May ballot was legal. You know, they changed the deck in their favor and they got it passed. But now August comes up and there are some people that are really scared. And we're at the point now where, you know, it sounds 1 mil here, 2 here. It's the homework conundrum. You know, everybody goes through and says, hey, you know, 45 minutes of homework isn't too bad when you got 1 class getting 45, but then you take 7 classes. That combines for 45 minutes each, and then you're looking at hours and not able to do the other stuff in life. Plus the water tomorrow.
It's a tough sell.
It's not just a sell, it's a responsibility about stuff. And I'm gonna recommend that before tomorrow's meeting, we, all 5 of us, on our own time, go and review the master plan and go and review some of the comments that were made, you know, about millages, whatever millage. Because we're at the point now where we had to decide which projects are more important based on what we believe in, and not just approve every. It's not a yes no. It's not a binary and a vacuum. It's a composite. And we should look at the master plan to see what fits best, how it fits best, before making those decisions, so that way it's fair to everybody.
Well, I know we have renewals on the primary ballot because they were put on the primary ballot on purpose. And the reason behind putting it on the November ballot rather than the August primary ballot is because we can't do it in time. Ultimately, we have an obligation to provide equipment that is necessary for fire protection. And if the only method we have available to us to pay for it is to ask the voters to fund it, then we have an obligation to ask the voters to fund it. And it's up to them whether or not they think it's important enough to vote for. Millages are tough.
But that's why that we, and it gives them the opportunity. like you
And
said.
ultimately, the people get to decide which is how it should be.
One question?
Fine.
Are you still looking at it in terms of an assessment or a millage?
We don't know that yet because Roxanne was gonna write up. Because I'm not familiar with the whole assessment thing.
The assessment is approved.
Bob has said that he had been through that before and it worked, but I'm not really familiar with it.
Education assessments on the east end of the UP went over way more positive than the ones that happen in Marquette County for the same stuff. You know, targeting specific groups in a different way might make it a better sell, might have more discussion, you know, really pushing the positives of positive discussion, not, you know, bullying other people like we saw with the school millage. Like, you know, we gotta be smart about this, and that's not just us, that's each voter's gotta be smart. So the sooner that you know about that kind of stuff, I think it's gonna be beneficial, even before it gets to us.
It's my understanding that a special assessment, the decision to put a special assessment on the people that decision is made by this body rather than by the people themselves. And if we do put a special assessment in place, it is subject to referendum. And the people can, and then this has happened, the people can reverse that assessment.
Oh, yeah, they can vote against the referendum. Did you have one more comment, and we'll leave?
No, that was a comment on that, but I do have another comment, another thing.
Okay.
It's not quite as important as that. I am sick and tired of this street light, this traffic light up here not working. I was just curious. I had 3 or 4 people call me and say, how come it never turns if you're going?
People don't approach it correctly.
No, I know where to approach it. I sat for 4.5 minutes and it never changed.
Well, that's also a DOT thing.
I mean, it's just, then we gotta get a hold of DOT and have them come out and do something with it.
We control the traffic.
Yes, we do.
Well, we gotta do something, because that's ridiculous.
The police department controls
MDOT.
the traffic light.
That's what I said, it's MDOT.
MDOT's traffic.
No, it's MDOT's traffic light, but we control it.
Well, then
We had to pay extra for that.
we need somebody that knows how to program it.
Well, like,
And Matt said he'd be willing to take over that.
Okay,
You and I are gonna.
I'm gonna close the commissioner comments.
Whatever, it's gotta be done.
All right, item G, adjournment. Entertain a motion.
I move we adjourn.
Moved by Commissioner Justardens, supported by Commissioner Birch to adjourn. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Mushrooms